Hello everyone, welcome to the last episode of this series on digital transformation season 2. Till now we have talked about a lot of things about digital transformation, prioritization, couple of great examples on how FMCG and automotive industries are using digital transformation and taking care of multiple use cases. Now is the time to find out how is the scope of digital transformation in future. What are the challenges or areas that we need to be mindful about when we go ahead in future? Let's get started. So if the first thing that we need to look at is what is the global market size of digital transformation and how is it panning out? So the global market size of digital transformation in the year 2020 was around 470 billion US dollars. This is expected to go to more than $1 trillion by the year 2025. So this is basis a report of marketandmarkets.com where they had put these numbers. Other rating agencies may have numbers a little different here or there, but if you look at the trend, that is more important. The growth is there and it is huge. That's the key that we should be looking at. Now, if we also look at some other numbers, what it means is that around 40% of the organization have reached the scale of digital initiatives where they need to be, and 91% of the organization are engaged in some form of digital initiatives somewhere in the organization here or there. So that is how it is. And if we look at it from another perspective, one of the industrial stalwarts, Satya Nadella, the CEO and chairman of Microsoft, talked about the pace of digital transformation that we had in last 1 year thanks to pandemic. It was probably what we would have done in 5 years was achieved in 1 year. What it tells us is that when it comes to helping the industry move forward in such tough times also, it is such technologies and transformation of business by these technologies which is going to be of help to us. Let's move forward. Now, if we look at it from another agency, Gartner, what are the views on it? So one of the Gartner researchers, a senior vice president, talks about it that IT operations, which used to be taken only as back office support, it was never at the forefront. Now, in last few years, it has come up in the forefront, and that is something which is now going to drive and make that difference between one business to another, whether they can leverage their IT as a front office, as a differentiator and an enabler in ways that was not being done in the past. Now, this is something which is a good positive input for how digital transformation will shape up in future, coming from none other than Gartner. While we talked about how things look to be rosy, how they are good enough, what are the challenges? What we need to be mindful about? Obviously, there will be things that may not always go correct. In one survey done by Everest Group, 73% of the companies provided inputs that digital transformation did not add much value to them. Why so? There could be multiple reasons. Let's look at some of these reasons. The first one I would enlist here is unclear transformation goals. What does it mean? That for the sake of doing transformation, if an organization gets started with something, they may not be able to derive the benefits which they would have in a method where they did it in a better way. For example, if they did not prioritize their use cases the way we talked about in one of the earlier episodes, they may not be able to derive benefits. There are some use cases which we talked about as don't even touch them. Now, these are areas in terms of goals that companies need to be clear about. Then it has to be anything that is done has to have a strategic initiative angle as well. Top management has to be involved. Otherwise, we would not be able to see a lot of things come towards the end. What is the next challenge? That is lack of right talent or skill set. We know how this is critical. In our episode where I talked about Renault Group example, they set up Renault Digital within the group for one of these reasons, that they wanted to attract right talent and work on their projects. So this is such a key that an organization thinks of putting up their own center of excellence or setup within their group. Companies without these expertise, or if they cannot do this, can look out for credible partners. There would be lot the way they want, on what they want, they'll have to seek advice from them. While on the employees part of it, when we are looking at the talent, there can be some employees who might be juggling their day-to-day tasks with some of these external or new projects as well. Now, this is where if we are not able to get the time from the employees because they are multitasking, the external partners, as I talked, can be of help there as well to augment those skill sets or resources who cannot devote their full time into such programs. The next challenge is that technology being focused. A lot of times organizations think digital transformation means I will get a technology implemented and I'll forget about it. How it is done, why it is done, I may not go into those details. I just need a new business package to be just implemented as soon as possible. This is not the right method. Technology is just an enabler. I need to be clear on what is that I want to achieve. The first challenge that I talked about, goals. If I am clear where do I want to go as an organization, then pick up the technology, that's the right way. If I jump directly on saying that I want an AI, I want something else, it might not be the right way. Then the next challenge could be change management. In every such program, change management is the key. If I don't get my change agents up and running in the earlier part of the program, who can go ahead and talk about that, advise others that what are the good points of this huge transformation program happening, we might not get the benefits that we want. So having change management as a practice and right skill set in this change management COE is very much important. Then the next issue could be lack of mindset. While people want to do, they have the right talent in-house or outside, but are they very clear in terms of how they need to do and what they need to do? Do they have the mindset of scaling it big, or they just want to think of it that we will try, if it works good, if it does not work, that's good. That kind of a mindset may not take us forward. So this is another key aspect of the challenges that we look at it. So we have looked at quite a few challenges. We have talked about some numbers. Now let's look at what are some forecasts or trends for future. So if you look at trends for next 5 years, there are some research agencies who have put in some numbers around how this industry or this area of digital transformation would shape up. So I would cite some of these examples here. One of these rating agencies talked about 90% of the world's top 500 company would have used analytics in some way or the other by the year 2023. By the year 2025, 80% of consumer or industrial products would contain some sort of an electronic, that is IoT in other words, which will perform some analysis on the device itself. A huge number if you look at it, 80%. By 2022, which is right around the corner, 70% of the organization may start to track data quality levels better than what they are, and they would be improving their data quality from what they were earlier to significantly reduce the operational risk and cost regarding that. Now, if we look at another aspect of this, by 2022-23, 40% of machine learning model development will be done within the product that do not have machine learning as a primary goal. What does it mean? That when I'm selling a product which is to be used elsewhere, ML, machine learning, will just be an embedded part to it. I've started seeing them happening in a lot of these applications for business process enablement that the OEMs provide. So this number probably may overreach or go beyond 40% as well. The other forecast around application architecture or development or integrations of platforms are also there. Let's look at them. One of these points is by 2023, more than 50% of large enterprise will adopt more robotic process automation RPAs from service provider rather than doing it in-house. By 2023, 50% of new integration technologies will include AI in some shape or form in them, embedded AI. By 2024, low code development will be responsible for 65% of application development. What it means is people who don't even know how to code or no basic level of coding with such low code platforms would be able to contribute. A great opportunity for people who have the bent of mind but probably do not have the overall skill set. So this is going to be of benefit to them. By 2023-24, 40% of the professional workers will orchestrate their business applications like they do in their music streaming experience. So these are a lot of numbers. Let's just stop here. We know about what all things can go wrong. We have understood that what are the drivers in terms of key numbers where we see things can go fine. Now in summary, what I would like to say is that digital transformation as an arena is here to stay. Business will flourish. We have all these numbers. However, what we need to be mindful about are the challenges that I talked about, so that if we take care of these challenges, the organization would be able to get the benefits as desired out of any such digital transformation initiatives. That's all for this season of digital transformation. Thanks a lot. Do like, share and subscribe. If you have any questions, put in your comments and I'll be happy to answer that. Thank you everyone.